All right, so I'm going to go over just like what a trader sees as it's occurring in the market. I'm going to take you step by step through everything. So let me just jump over here real quick. So first things first, has does everybody understand what divergence is with the dollar?
No.
Okay, so divergence of the dollar is going to be where both pairs are going in the same way, right? So looking here at this particular pair, this was AUD USD, and then I've got the DXY in there as well. So AU is going to be the one that's going up this way, and then the dollar is going to be the one that's going down, right? So I'm sorry, that's backwards. DXY is this one, AUD is this one. If I flip to the next screen, you can see they're both going in the same direction, right? Now, if the dollar's getting stronger and it comes second in this pair, shouldn't, if this is making higher highs, AUD USD should be making lower lows, right? So
Yeah.
whenever that occurs in the market, when it's not making that lower low, that tells you that the Australian dollar is being bought up. This is about to be a buy scenario. So looking at this particular pair here, um, what I do is I look at the dollar, I pull up my DXY. Let me just do it real quick for you. So I'll come over to TradingView, pull up DXY. I'll be looking for higher highs. So I'm just going to drop down to a 1 hour chart. And you can see here, I mean, it's been bullish for a while. But if I took from like this high to this high, you can see obviously it made another high, right? So any pair that's AUD USD, USD based pretty much. So if it's AUD USD, GBP USD, Euro USD, any of those pairs should be doing the same exact thing. So if this is making a higher high, AUD USD should be making a lower low. Same with GBP USD, all of that. And all you've got to do is click this compare button, add symbol. I can throw in their GBP USD. I'm going to take this, change it to candles. Perfect. So, I mean, just seeing here, we can see that obviously the Great Britain pound is already making lower lows as it should be since the dollar is making higher highs. Now, in this particular scenario, you can see the dollar was making higher highs, but AUD USD fell to make that lower low. That just tells me that we now have divergence on this pair. Now they need to come back and meet back in the middle, right? Now, on to the first step. I pulled up AUD USD on a 15-minute chart. I see here that we have our noob stop losses and sell stops. This is basically a liquidity capture is what this candle was. This candle here was a bank coming in, pushing price down to basically enter in all those sell stops and stop out all the noobs is what we call them. So it's stopping out everybody who's buying this pair currently, right? Because you have to think retail's buying this pair, they're going to set their stop losses below the lowest lows, right? So they set them right in here. Um, this candle here, basically, it came down, it stopped all of them out, it entered those new sell stops, right? And then came right back. I know that I'm not looking to take the move here or here, right? I'm looking at this new area where the bank entered again. I want to see if this is going bullish like we need it to for all of this to be accurate. If this is going bullish, I want to break the stops here and stop these people out. Same with the stops here, right? So if I click to the next one, okay. So yeah, you can see this is what I'm looking to take out. If I don't take any of these out and show a sign of strength in this pair, the move's invalid. Now moving to the next chart. Now remember, I'm watching this as it's happening, right? I'm not making a single move until the chart reacts the way I want it to, right? I'm letting price come to me. So I'm watching this. Now I see we have that bullish move, okay? You can see here we failed to break the next stops. I didn't enter in here, right? I haven't entered in yet. All I'm doing is watching this. So I can see now we've broken here, we've broken here. Now I'm looking for this to come back and retest. Where is this going to start reversing at, right? I see my first sign of strength or sign of weakness, and I see here we have an order block. Does everybody understand what an order block is? How the banks are basically entering into this market and everything? Have you all went over that?
Somewhat.
Okay, so basically you have to understand that banks, whenever we're doing institutional trading, in order for the bank to take, an entry or position in the market, it's not like they can just drop these outrageous lot sizes because it would send this chart flying up or flying down in one direction. So they're mitigating in and out of their positions, right? This was one slam here. They probably took an entry down here. Same here, slam it down. They probably took another entry here, right? Now they're looking, right? to continue adding to the position. So obviously a bank's not just going to enter in here because it's going to put them at a bad entry price. So what they do is they sell it down, slam it down to take a buy entry, right? To drive price back up. Now I know that they had to take that sell position to shove price down in order to catch that buy position, right? So their sell position is now in drawdown, okay? So we have a position right here at 7107 that is now in drawdown. They took another position here at 70962 for a buy. We have to come back down to this. We have to come back down for them to mitigate out of that sell and break even before it's going to continue up, okay? I'm just going to take, all I did was take and draw my fibs out. I went from this order block up to the highest high. My 61.8 is this very first line. Here in a second, I'll show you guys how to adjust your fibs like this, okay? This middle line here is my 72. This is my optimal trade entry, okay? This is where I want to take my position. If it gets to that point, I will enter in up to 3 times. I'll enter in on the 61.8, the 72, and the 79. As it retraces back, I'm going to close out my worst entries at break even, right? So moving on to this, if we just go to the next scenario, remember, I'm looking to take an entry here, okay? So first things first, how do I take an entry at that spot? I now know after watching all of these moves, I've, shown my sign of strength. I found out where my order block was. Now I know where I want to take my entry. What position do I need to set there between buy stop, buy limit, sell stop, sell limit? Does everybody know how to set these?
Yes. Or
Perfect.
I'm not everybody, so I'm not too sure what they're saying.
I'll just
Yeah, I know
I'll
how
just
to
go
do
over
it.
it. So buy stop is going to be when your entry price is placed above the current price, and it's just saying that it's going to hit that price and continue on. A limit is a reversal. You set it below the current price, and then it just means it's going to come down, hit your price, and reverse off. Opposite happens with the sell side of everything. So sell would be set below the current price. It's going to come down, continue on. Sell limit just means it's going to come back up, enter you in, and then continue down, right? So if I want it to come down, enter me in, and then reject off, I'm looking for that reversal, right? Which is going to be this buy limit, okay? So on this particular pair, I set a buy limit down here. It was like 710. It might have been a little bit more, a little bit less, but I just set a limit down in there so that when price got down there, it would enter me in. And you can see that it came straight down. This was my execution right here. You can see it came straight down perfect to my 79. And then just looking at the next slide, it just ran, okay? And then even then, you can see this was the position. It just continued going up and up and up, right? So now, looking at my fib levels, you can see the fib's a lot better here. So 62, 71, 79. The first green is going to be your scalping take profit 2, take profit 3. And then, of course, it continued on. To manage a proper position, you want to be moving your stop losses as you progress through the trade. So I entered in here with a stop down right below here down on the order block, okay? It executed, I went in. As soon as I get to take profit 1, right, I'm closing half of my position. So if I have like a 0.1 lot size, I'm closing out 0.05 of it. So at this point, say I'm up $30, I'm taking 15 and paying myself and leaving the rest of the trade to ride. I'm going to move my stop loss to break even, right? So my stop loss is now break even, and I'm going to continue riding this out. As it progresses to take profit 2, I'm now going to move my stop loss to take profit 1 and then take partials again. I'm going to close out that 0.05 down to 0.02 or whatever. And then same thing as I get to take profit 3, I'll move my stop loss to take profit 2, and then I will close out half of the position again and continue letting the rest of it ride. This is another scenario as well. You can see here that most of retail is looking to sell, right? So every time it comes up into this area, this is basically what people would call a supply zone. So it's coming up and it's always rejecting off, rejecting off, rejecting off. So you know that you have a lot of sellers in this that are selling around in these areas where their stop loss is set. You have this liquidity pool up here where most of these people are setting their stop losses right above all the highs, okay? Maybe some of them are smart, take profit here, some are smart, take profit here, and so on, right? Eventually, I know that a bank is going to come in to enter into this move, right? You can see this was the bank entry. It came up, right? Wicked straight into where I wanted it to, that liquidity pool zone. It stopped all the sellers out and then entered in for those buy stops and then ran straight away. I called the entry here, and you can see it went straight to take profit 1, 2, and 3, and then, of course, eventually came back. But all we're focused on is paying ourselves in these moves. If we can get the move accurate every time, we don't have to catch like thousands of pips in the market. Realize that like we're focused on compounding these accounts. I understand there's a lot of people that are flipping accounts, you know, $100 to 400, $400 to like 1,000 and stuff like that, right? We're focused on that compounded growth. You have to realize the same way that you made, you know, $30 on a $100 accounts, the same way you're going to make 300 on 1,000 and 3,000 on 10,000. It's the same exact trades, same setups and everything. All you're doing is adjusting that lot size now, and you have more to leverage and more capital basically to grow with, right? So we don't want to always just go all in on one trade. Make sure that we're sticking with that proper risk management and everything. I can't stress that enough, that we're not here to flip accounts. You know, yes, it's cool to make money. Yes, it's cool to take $100 account to 1,000 and everything, but do it the proper way, because you don't want to sit here and practice doing stuff the wrong way and get into those bad habits. I log every single one of my trades. I have screenshots of every single one of my trades so that I can go back and reference each one and see exactly what I was seeing in the market at that time. I have my feelings documented and everything. So I know, you know, am I feeling euphoric right now as I'm in profit? You know, am I feeling sad now that I'm at a loss? Am I feeling like closing it out? Like every single thing that goes through your head as you're watching these charts. I'm in drawdown now because I executed on AUD USD a little bit early. So I've been looking for the buy on this. Take the dollar out. For 9.5 weeks now, I've waited on this trade. 9.5 weeks from this order block back here. I've waited until we mitigated back out. Okay, so yeah, we can see the small order block right back in here. They took that basically the sell down to push it down to enter it again off of their buy and everything. We're finally coming back to mitigate out of that. Okay, I know the NFP's tomorrow, so I was expecting this to be pushed down for NFP. I was going to enter in my blue zone and everything, and then everything skyrocket or whatever next week. We've been looking for the buy side of this forever. It could very well potentially push down to this pin bar all the way down to 50% of that. So I'll be watching this strong for NFP tomorrow to see how the dollar sets up and everything, because the dollar is even making higher highs on everything. I mean, it's already broke the zone that I wanted it to. I would say, you know, my bias on NFP is that we push a little bit further down for more entries, and then all next week I'm bullish on AUD USD if everything sets up the way I want it to. Banks don't mitigate out of stuff fast. I mean, this was 9.5 weeks that I watched AUD USD. Obviously, I'm still snack trading in between, still taking small entries here and stuff like that, right? But I'm still waiting on the overall move. I still want that ballpark play off of this. We're down in this area too, so same thing with like GBP USD, NZD USD, all looking for the same thing. Bullish on all of them. Honestly, closed mouths don't get fed. If you don't like reach out and let us know that we're struggling, we can't help you.
You make it seem so not. I'm not gonna say so easy, of course, but I feel so much more confident like taking on a trade by what you just said than like going through IML, because it does teach you a certain amount, but it's not really much about charts.
Yeah, so one thing you have to realize too is IML is just going to be like, it's like your college books, right? So you still need that live mentorship, somebody who's been there doing it in the market. And that's one thing that we try to help with the most, like on these streams, always doing webinars and everything, just to like kind of break down what you're learning in the academy and teach you how to actually apply it. Like, you know, fibs are taught in the academy, but the way traders use them are different. Like everybody uses fibs different. I color coordinate mine. Like I'm really OCD on my charts. So like even down to like my fibs, I change my numbers and everything obviously, but like 62, my 71 and 79, OTEs my 71. A lot of people trade straight off that 61.8, right? Because that's your reversal. But I color coordinate mine to where it's like, okay, blue zone is going to be my entry zone. When the chart gets to there, that's where I enter. Red is stop loss. And then I've got my TP1, TP2, TP3, TP4 all the way up. And that's just like easier for me to read versus I mean some people have like all these different colors in their fibs and all these unnecessary numbers in there that you know you don't really use, don't really need. So I just took it down to like exactly what I use. That way there's nothing extra in there. I have it color coordinated so that my eyes can read it better as I draw it out. And then of course like as I draw a fib, I won't leave my fib on there honestly because I know what I'm looking at. I'll just take and I will just draw blue. So you can see like I've got the blue zones here, like those are fib levels as well. But I'll just take and like draw out the zone wherever the 61.8 is or that blue zone, everything in there. And then I'll take and delete my fib. And then I know that this is where I need to start entering at on that box. Same thing with all of this. That was a fib level. That was a fib level.
Now
But
your
if
fib levels, can you only change them on TradingView, or can you change them on
so you can on the app, I don't know how to do it on the app. If you're using the MetaTrader 4 desktop version, you can trade them on there. You can't color coordinate them, but the cool thing about the MetaTrader platform is you can name them. So on my MetaTrader platform, instead of it saying like, 70.5 or whatever, it says OTE. So I know optimal trade entry. Instead of it saying 0, it says take profit scalping, take profit 1, take profit 2, take profit 3. So I have it actually written out and everything. The red will say stop loss. But yeah, TradingView is the only one that you can actually adjust the colors and everything on. And I will actually pull this up real quick. Settings, style. And this is everything that I have set. Because whenever you first like open up fibs and everything, it looks totally different. All the stuff is different in here. Take a picture of that if anybody likes the way it's set up. If not, do your own thing. Everybody looks at the market differently. I can't tell you that what you're doing is wrong as long as you understand the way you're doing it. So focus more on like your entries more than anything. Like you shouldn't be doing a market execution unless price is exactly where you want to be at. That's one of the major things in day trading is being patient. Like people think that day trading means you got to take a trade every single day. I waited 9.5 weeks for this trade before I even executed on it. So it's like, don't rush anything. Be patient. Sit on your hands, honestly. Any questions about anything else?
What's your Instagram?
Instagram is going to be entrepreneur journey, and there is a period between entrepreneur and journey as well. But if y'all don't have any more questions, I'm going to go ahead and end this. Add me on social media. You guys have obviously my Instagram now, and then my name is the same on Facebook, just Daniel Vesper. Reach out to me there if you want my personal number. Just send me a DM.
All right, sounds
Thank
good.
you.
No problem. Y'all have a good night.
You too. Good night.